Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Offscripture with Beck and Sam. I'm Sam.
And I'm Beck.
And today we are on chapter 8. We are on the final little run to the end. 3 more chapters left.
We are, yeah.
Before we get to the very end.
So I've got my Bible, my brew, which I actually drank, but okay.
That's my brew.
Oh, I have drank my brew and my book. What's today's chapter? What should we start?
So today's chapter is labouring in prayer, and it's about praying for the lost. I really enjoyed this chapter.
So Tyler opens with Elijah climbing the mountain, doesn't he? And he's bending low and he's putting his face between his knees, and he's like, "This isn't polite, it's not clean, it's not a 1 minute school run type of prayer," which I am definitely guilty of.
No.
This is like really serious, like to the soul type of, and he describes it as childbirth.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I would have to say that this chapter does take traditional prayer and labouring prayer to an even deeper level. And it talks about how prayer needs to cost something. Very often we will pray when it's convenient for us, costs us nothing. We even cut it back to that 2-minute meditation.
Yeah.
Silent prayer if we can't visit it.
Well, some of us do.
Or we cut it back to a very quick. And it reminded me the other day, every night we pray the Our Father now since starting this, and we brought up that chapter, I think it was chapter 3, where we spoke about we don't actually pray the Our Father every day. We pray it on a Sunday during church, but we should really be praying it every day. So we started it every night before my children go to bed. We pray the Our Father, and my 8-year-old loves it. Loves it. Even when I was sick the other day and I did not want to get my head off the pillow. I wanted to stay in bed. And she came running into my room before it was her bedtime, and her dad was helping her get down to bed. And she was like, "Mum, we need to pray." And I was like,
So
"Oh, okay." And then as I was praying, I had to catch myself, because when I was praying, I was kind of like, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come." Because I just wanted to go back to sleep. And she looked at me and said, "Mum, do you not want to pray with me tonight?" It broke my heart.
She ripped your heart out.
She did.
Put it back in the other way around.
Praying with her at that moment wasn't convenient for me.
No.
But it's about sacrifice. Prayer that is meaningful can't be just, I don't know what the word it is I'm looking for, but it can't just be off the cuff prayer. I mean, off the cuff, it can be off the cuff prayer, but it can't be something that's
You can't be like that all the
forced.
time, can it?
It can't be something that's forced. It needs to be something that, all right, you might sacrifice to wake up earlier, even if it's 10-30 minutes earlier. It may take a sacrifice, but that sacrifice is worth it. Go on.
No, honestly, so this chapter,
This
chapter is about praying for the lost, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's about praying for those people who you think, oh, never in a million years they're going to come to Christ. This is, it's pointless. Praying like that does cost something, because we live in a world where it's very much, you think about social media, please like and follow this. I mean, please do like and follow this video.
Yeah.
But
subscribe.
Please. But a type of prayer that appears unanswered or without any, for years and years and years, may not have any fruition, costs. You're putting quite a lot of effort in and not getting anything back. And that's quite hard for us, what it is for me in this type of world. And I loved the story about
D.L. Moody.
D.L. Moody.
Yeah.
I was thinking Dr.
D.L. Moody.
And he carried around a list of 100 names in his pocket.
Yeah.
And I loved how Tyler said in the video, in the book, that he spoke about Moody in his in a sermon, and he, as a church congregation, they all agreed to do this.
It was after 9 months, he said to everybody, the congregation, that all dedicated to pray. I think they put 5 names, not 100.
No, exactly.
5 names, and pray for them every day set a little reminder on your phone, add a post-it note, or put like a little note on the top of your laptop, something like that. And after 9 months, he asked for a show of hands of who was still praying every day, and only one hand went up, and it wasn't his.
No,
Yeah,
I love that vulnerability.
It
But
just wrecked me.
yeah,
Just
I was
wrecked me.
like, but getting back to D.L.
D.L.
Moody
Moody,
story
go
was,
on.
I think this is quite a well-known story because
Lots of
I'd
people
heard of this before. It
before.
was in this book.
Yeah.
I love it because he had 100 names. He prayed to them every single day, all of his life, and there was, out of them 100 names, they all eventually came to Christ. Amazing. And nobody would say, "Oh, that wasn't a good effort,"
No,
because there was 4 left that hadn't come to Christ.
it was that effort that was persistent.
Absolutely. And then at his funeral, what happened, Tammy?
All came to Christ because they were so moved. And these people didn't know that their names were on the list and that he was praying for them every day. And I feel like that flips us on our head a little bit, because there's so many times where you'll go into a conversation with somebody that isn't following Jesus, following Christ, hasn't come to Christ yet, and you'll go, "I'll pray for you. Can I pray for you?" They let them know, or they will be actively evangelizing to them. And I'm not saying that you have to stop that. That wasn't the message in this prayer. This message was silent prayer, silent, persistent prayer. That happened in solitude with them 100 names that he kept with him every day. And that takes some dedication. I don't know whether I would have that in me to do.
As a question,
Go
who
on.
are you praying for? Like D.L. Moody.
We'll get there at some
won't.
point
I
today.
Learn this about me. This Moody he'll be a doctor. He will be a detective inspector. He will be whatever the next one is in my brain is.
Like that comes out.
So I mean, he's not alive, but enjoy your titles.
So I think God can't resist secret prayer or a secret labour of prayer. So I have put down for myself a friend that I don't think will ever come to Christ.
Are you praying for her?
She's on my list. She's on my
And
5.
you do pray for her?
Yeah, she's on my 5. And I would just love it if one day she says, "Sam, I had this encounter." Honestly, it's going to make me cry just thinking about it. I just love it. There's also someone else I put on my list, and I'm not going to say it now online, but it is a YouTuber who moved away from Christ and become an atheist, but is very expressive about an atheistic, so it was like an atheistic faith, if I'm honest. But there was something about his story that really touched me. And I felt for her why she turned away from Jesus. And I've put her on my list as well. So this is a stranger, someone I don't know.
That's quite bold because, if I'm honest, I don't have a list. I just don't. Like, I am somebody who is very much somebody who likes results. The only one person that I consistently prayed for to come to Christ was my husband, which was years in the making. And that wasn't selfless prayer, because it makes my life easier if he is a Christian. Exactly. So I don't think it fully falls into the same category of paying for somebody who is lost and not expecting a result.
No, it is.
No, it may be, but I just think it is a bit of a selfish prayer as well. But I don't have a list of people who I think who are way off, who are never going to come to Christ. I'm not that committed to it. And that's something I took from this chapter. And D.L. Moody.
D.L. Moody.
Me.
You got it.
I did, thank you. I mean, 100 names is a real commitment, and I don't think I would get to that. But yeah, I am going to maybe make a list and see where it takes me. And I love that you've picked that YouTuber, because it's that absolute belief that, you know what, praying to somebody who may be across the world, I don't know if they are actually, but if they are across the world, who you will probably never meet, is worthy of that prayer. And actually your prayer is powerful, and it can do, it is meaningful to God.
Yeah. So I have put my husband on my list because, again, he is agnostic, but I would say when I first met him, he would definitely categorize himself as atheist. So we're making progress.
Yeah. Small steps.
Very small steps. I understand why his walk I'm going to say back to God, because he was a cradle Catholic. It's difficult. I understand where he came from. I understand his upbringing and his the seasons he had to go through to get to where he is today. So I do think it takes time, and he is the leader of our household. However, he's very much supportive in.
It's not obstructive, which
Absolutely
is
not. And you would find that a lot, won't you, for women who have come to faith later, shall we say, and are already with somebody who's married who hasn't come to faith, who is still maybe atheist or agnostic or spiritual, as some people say. That is really difficult when you come from a woman's standpoint and you read the Bible and you know that you want to honour this man that you chose to marry, and you're coming across challenges where you feel like you're unevenly yoked. I would comfortably say that I don't feel like I am unevenly yoked with my husband, because we have so much love and respect for each other, that he honours me the same way as I honour him. And
your husband is a very particular and sensitive and quite
you wouldn't know
self-aware.
not to look at him, though, would you?
No. But he is naturally quite self-aware. But one thing
Yeah,
that
he
I found with a woman who comes to Christ first to a partner or husband or whatever, that does feel unequally yoked, because if it's vastly different to what you was before and what you did to enjoy yourself, and
No.
I'm not saying that if you come to Christ that your husband doesn't respect you, but you then, I mean, don't mind the cliche, but you are singing off different hymn sheets. It is sometimes a bit of a battle, and that is something I was so different to who I was before, and that's an adjustment, and adjustments in any marriage. What I would say is, although I did pray for my husband for years, and thank the Lord that he has become a Christian quite recently, which is amazing, and I love that for us. It was hard, like that period in between.
Yeah.
That phrase, I think I messaged you, I'm unequally yoked. It was hard, but I love that the Lord, do you know what? I think out of the whole book, this chapter about the childbirth, rearing that pain, I felt that with when I was a Christian and my husband wasn't.
It's painful.
It was. There was moments.
Undignified.
Yeah, it wasn't
like childbirth.
It was actually, my childbirth wasn't that long. This was more undignified than my childbirth. But it was utterly worth it when it breathed new life. And I've known the pain, and then I've known the joy of the fruit. But that's very much sort of praying and getting an answer, which is what I say I struggle with.
Yeah. Do you remember the chapter that Taylor went to that involved Elijah praying to prove himself? I can't remember what chapter it was.
No, I don't remember actually. Are you making this up?
What?
No. Are you making this up? I know you're not making it up. I know the stories in the actual Bible, but are you making this up?
No. I will
Sometimes.
add this above us of what chapter I'm actually going on about. But it's the part where they've had a 7-year drought, and
yes, I do remember. This
yes,
isn't lies.
it's not lies now. And when Elijah is praying to the Lord, the part just before, they are in like a competition with the magicians.
No, that was the god of Baal.
They're praying to Baal.
Baal, yeah.
And
they've like a dance off, but like
yeah. And they're all like proving what their God.
Their God, my God's more powerful.
And the Lord was more powerful. And part of Elijah's prayer was that he threw on. They were making fire, but asking the Lord to like make fire, or asking
to come down
God
to burn the sacrifice.
Yeah. But Elijah wet the wood
I love that.
with water, and they were going through a drought. Everybody was thirsty. Water was a very
worth more than gold, wasn't it, in that situation?
Yeah. It was a sought after commodity. It was something that was really, really precious to a time when there's a drought and there's very little drinking water. And he pours, and then even when they pour one bucket of water over, he asks for another bucket of water to be thrown over it, and then he prays to the Lord, because for a prayer that big, it called for a big sacrifice, and the sacrifice that was worthy was that water of what people needed at that time. It was, I think what I'm trying to say is that what I was saying earlier is we don't give up very much for our prayers, but expect big things to happen. Elijah sacrificed something that was very, very dear to not just him, but his community for a big prayer to be fulfilled.
But
We don't.
he had
We
the
just go,
belief.
Lord,
If it's in
please,
your will,
yeah.
that one.
No, but we ask for big things.
No.
Like we pray, Lord, have fallen over and sprained my ankle, please heal it instantly now. But I'm sacrificing nothing for you to instantly heal me. The one that goes further on within the book, Elijah praying for rain. He prays face down onto the floor, and the whole theme of this chapter is about labor. And Tyler brings up that the position that Elijah was in, face down on the floor. And the Bible goes into great detail about his posturing within the prayer. And he compares that to a woman in labour. Now, I don't know how many women Tyler's seen in labour or give birth, but I wasn't giving birth face down onto the floor. But I get his point. I get the point he's driving home.
I mean, I was standing up on my way to the labour ward, so I didn't even quite make it. Yeah. So I always read this as quite dramatic, in the Bible. I don't know why, like almost like a theatrical performance. So I'm like throwing the water on, but I love how, like Tyler said, actually, it wasn't performative. No. Because I've always read it, to be honest, as quite how can I put
not
this?
Dramatic for the sake of it.
But I've read it as that. Well, and maybe that's how it came across to me when I read it in the Bible. But I do love how he said it wasn't performative. No. This was him sacrificing everything that was important to him because he knew his Lord would show up for him.
Yeah, it was like posturing that reflected passion.
Yeah, and so. Another quote in the book, which I really loved, was that God dreams of pouring His Spirit out onto the whole city, not just a good Sunday morning. He wants a whole city renewed. And I think, again, that probably does touch quite a sore point with you with these quite big mega churches. And yeah, I know that like the big performance and the concert, we love Big Church Fest. I love New Wine. Yeah. I feel the Holy Spirit in them types of environments. And it's great. But actually, what God wants is the whole city, not just these massive performances. That stuff of...
It's not performance for the sake of it.
Exactly,
it's passion for the Lord, isn't it? And it's trying to find that balance between the two. Sometimes I feel like these big mega church performances are performances for the sake of it. And yes, I feel the people who are there praising the Lord are passionate for the Lord. But there's still another side of the band is the centre of attention. Everything is directed towards the band. Actually, would that not be even better if you just couldn't see the band at all and you just saw the Lord, you just saw the sacrificial element? People aren't sacrificing anything to go to these mega churches because it's fun. It's not. I remember as a child going to
old style Church of England.
Oh yeah, the Anglican, properly traditional.
You weren't even allowed to sit on the benches.
Do you know, like you were on your knees for prayer. Now, if I went on my knees for prayer within my church now, people would look at me thinking I've lost the plot.
But also, and again, it's the same for our churches. When our children come into our church, if we were told to stand at the back and not make any noise, how would my children? Because I think they might combust, if I'm honest. Like, I don't know whether that would work for them. We have quite a big children's...
We did have Sunday school still.
No, we did, but do you know the bit before the children go out? When I went to church as a child, you wouldn't dare speak. Like, there was no way. There was no snacks available. There wasn't an iPad or, and you dare not make a noise. You could, even when we went out into the children's church, it was quite, we had a little children's Bible and we did our colouring. We have, we had a relay on Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Round the church. It's like, it's very different. And
it's very different.
It's not performative because I think, and I did sort of make a question, because we have quite a big children's ministry in our church. And I'm part of that, which is amazing. But I don't think it's performative because it's. I feel like we're conveying the message of the Holy Spirit to the children. We're creating a space for them to be. We invite them up every single week to say, okay, what you're praying for. Creating that spaces, and I love that we do centre it back on the Lord. But what I just quickly want to touch on before we move on, you said about the band being covered, but what I do want to say is about Forrest Frank. Have you heard what he's done recently?
Yes, about the
He's not going for the awards.
Yeah, he's not getting up to accept the reward.
What do you think?
I love the humility of that.
But isn't he
He's had a lot of
doing?
clapback though.
Yeah, but he's having
From other Christian artists.
But don't forget what he's doing. He's sacrificing. He's saying here, I'm not going to take this earthly reward because it's the Lord's work. He's sacrificing. He is doing what Tyler Stanton is reflecting on in this chapter. He's sacrificing. And you know what? And I think if this podcast maybe does reach some of the Christian artists who do feel, I don't want to say attacked, but maybe this hits hard. Ask yourself why it hits hard. Ask yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, because sometimes when I'm reading my Bible and I'm like, oh, you could help my hand first, Lord. Often, it's because it's something in my heart that I need to search for. It's some work that I need to do within me. And somebody else's sacrifice, in this case, Forrest Frank's sacrifice, to say, do you know what? I'm convicted of this. Because that's what he said. He's not said, you shouldn't do this. He said, this is my personal conviction.
He hasn't said, it's not like he turned around and said, all your work is not of you, it's of the Lord. How dare you accept a award on behalf of the Lord? He's not said that. He said, this is how I feel. I feel my work was inspired by God. It's not mine. It belongs to the Lord. And so I will not get up on stage and receive a reward because it's not mine to take.
I love that.
I think it was brave, actually. It's a lot easier to conform to the flesh, isn't it? Than it is to say no.
Yeah, I think Forrest Frank, amazing. With two people sat on a sofa in the north of England, but and I'm sure you'll probably never see this, but I was really impressed that my kids really enjoy his music.
Yeah. I mean, the other day, your son, you know what he said to me?
What did he shame? Yeah. Did he do a Christian shame? Okay.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Told me, not even that into Brandon Lake.
He said that recently?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if you can tell.
I mean,
I am a huge Brandon Lake fan because, like most Christians, his music speaks to me. Love it. But he was like, love Forrest Frank now.
Do you know what it is? I have done Brandon Lake to death to that child. He was it's on Spotify Wrapped, and he's like my number 2. Sorry, I have got number 1. But you know,
if you're watching this, Brandon, you're my number 1 on my Spotify Wrap. Yeah,
mine was Josiah Queen. Because I have my middle child in the car quite a lot with me, and he absolutely loves, Dust on the Bibles. So it's played a lot because he's like, oh, can I choose this song? And he chooses the same song. So my Spotify Wrapped is a little bit off because my children listen to it with me in the car. But anyway, well done, Forrest Frank.
Yeah. Let's get back to the chapter. So I wanted to just jump back to Elijah when he said to Ahab, go and eat, drink, for there's the sound of heavy rain, and there was no sound. There's no
forecast on your iPhone.
It definitely wasn't a forecast,
because that's always wrong. I'm just gonna put it out there.
But there was no sign of rain either.
Wasn't even any rain clouds.
No. And as Elijah was praying, Ahab goes out and then suddenly starts seeing the rain clouds coming and growing bigger and bigger. And Elijah says this before he knows for sure that the Lord was going to deliver rain, because he prayed for the Lord to bring rain.
He absolutely believed it.
That's faith, that.
Checking your iPhone for a forecast.
No, we didn't. No. It wasn't like, oh, well, it's forecast rain today. I know.
You better get the washing in.
I will just tell everybody I'm going to pray for rain and pretend it was me. Nope.
No.
Not a cloud in the sky. Stuck his face on the floor and said,
this is going to work for me.
And it wasn't even the first time he prayed. He kept coming back, no sign of rain.
Was it 7 times?
I think it was 7.
I love how...
Like I said, I should have read that passage before we actually pressed record, because I couldn't remember.
I love in the Bible where 7 keeps bringing itself back around. I just love it. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I don't know why, I just love it. But
Brandon Lake's got a great song called 7.
I know. I was waiting for you to say that. I did like the bit from James, though, where he said, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Tyler reminds us that revival always starts with secret intercessors, not the big stage, big song, big dance, but knees on the floor, like Elijah, just absolute conviction to what you're praying for.
Yeah. Okie doke. So, challenge for the week. This challenge is simple, but not easy. Pick one person. We've already agreed on 5. You don't have to go for 5. Pick one person, write the name down, put a reminder on your phone, and pray for them daily, and don't stop. That is the challenge. And don't stop after a week. Keep going. Allow D.L. Moody to inspire you in what he did in bringing 100 people to faith. But dedicate yourself to one. We can all find one person. And don't just pick the easy one. Don't pick one that is
Slightly
Jesus
warm.
curious. Yeah, a little bit of a lukewarm. Yeah, a little bit lukewarm to Jesus. Pick somebody who you think will never come to faith, ever. Write their name down.
I mean, surprise us with the most wild person, hopefully in a couple of months or years you can come back and say, oh, I actually picked that person and this person's come. We'd love to hear from, if that
Absolutely.
happens.
If that happens, please comment below. Or if you've already done this, maybe your church has done this challenge before and you've prayed for somebody 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you kept having that reminder pop up on your phone every day. But then finally, after 2 years, they come to Christ. We want to hear your stories below.
Yeah, exactly. And it might feel really slow at first and nothing's happening. And again, we've talked about how hard that is, but you've just got to face something always is happening. Even if you can't see it, prayer primes the soil long before the rain comes.
Yes.
And we're gardeners, so we know this. But when things are happening under the soil, you can't always see it. And then you come out to your garden and then you've got
suddenly it's not
exactly. So just keep at it. And I know it's not always easy, but things are happening.
Even if you get tired, don't give up. Ask God to give you his heart and give that heart to this person who you're praying for. His persistence, his love. He's not finished.
No, he's not.
No.
This chapter just reminded me, prayer is not like sending an email. No, there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
It might even be like sending a letter by snail mail. I mean, who doesn't love getting a letter these days?
I mean, no one has a pen pal anymore.
I know.
I did have one when I was younger. Anyway, back to wrapping up the episode.
Yeah.
Before I go into
another story.
I had like a full monologue of
your pen pal when you were 6.
Yeah.
If you're Sam's pen pal when she was 6, please comment down below.
She was French.
She could watch this.
I had a French pen pal. It was organised through school. It was great.
Anyway, keep praying for your French pen pal when you were 6.
Yeah, I will do.
As a see list, have you already got your 5? Have you already got your 5?
I have.
Okay. On my challenge, I'm going to really think about the 5 this week. I've not got 5.
Amazing.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear about them.
Yeah.
Okay. I completely forgot where I was up to. We were wrapping this up, weren't we?
We was, and we're good at this. Next week, Sam.
What I wanted to say, but my brain wasn't functioning, is that the lost aren't lost causes.
Why aren't they lost causes, Sam?
Oh,
I love this.
Because they're just not home yet.
Oh, come on. I went into a church in Chester. Was it Chester? I don't know, anyway, somewhere. And it had on the back wall, welcome home. Oh, I was like, I had to take a couple of deep breaths. I'm not that emotional person. I was like,
I know you look very emotional.
I was. It was gorgeous.
You are filling up.
I think it's the time of the month. What are we doing next week, Sam?
So, next week we are moving on to chapter 9.
No. Oh, yes, we are, yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, okay.
You're like, no, yes, we are.
I also can't count.
So, chapter 9 is called Ask, Seek, Knock.
Ah, yes, okay.
And chapter 9, we're going to touch on unanswered prayers and the difficult conversations around that.
One.
Yeah. So that's going to be a tough chapter, I think. But, yeah, you'll soon find out next week. So we'll see you next week. And until then,
keep praying like monks, not living like fools.
Yeah.
Please don't live like fools.
No.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.